We are pushing for your attention to the max, I'm afraid. Lunch is around the corner. Please, your attention for another 15 minutes or so. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Yesterday we had some disturbing news coming from the Gaza Strip in Israel. And it's news we have to report about, of course. World news is not every day on our front page of the newspaper we make, because as a regional newspaper, the world starts when you get out of your home in the morning. That's where the world of our readers begins. It begins with news from the neighborhood, news from your own region and from your own province. We would like to talk, Sharon and I, today about the importance of local and regional journalism and why we are so proud of winning the European Newspaper Award. We were proud last night, we are still proud today, and I'm sure we will be proud tomorrow. This, by the way, is our office in Sittard in the Netherlands. But first, let me be polite and introduce myself. I'm Roy Veld. I'm the editor-in-chief of the Limburger. You can see my picture here. If you look good, you will find me. And if you check column 13 and row 6, you will find Sharon. This is where we come from. I'm sure you will know where the Netherlands is. This is the province in the Netherlands where we are from. We are famous for our capital, Maastricht, well known for the Maastricht Treaty that was signed in 1992. For some people, it stands for the hope of a united and peaceful and prosperous Europe. For the Eurosceptics, it's the beginning of the end of Europe. But we are proud of being the hometown for the European Treaty. This being our province, you will notice one thing, and that is that we have a lot of borders. We border Belgium, we border Germany, and we border other provinces of our country. In the past, we've been a part of Belgium, we've been a part of France, we've been a part of Prussia, Germany, and we switched several times. That means one thing: we don't feel very Dutch. We are Dutch, of course, but first of all, we are Limburg. That's the name of our province, and we are Limburgers, and we are proud inhabitants. And that's the perfect province for running a regional newspaper, because people feel Limburgers. I'd like to show you a short video and to let you see how beautiful our province is. always good to watch this video. I'm sorry, it was in Dutch, but we'll stumble upon some of those topics. This is our newspaper. Sharon will talk more about it. Our circulation is about 122,000 in a weekend, and we are very dominant in the province. All the national newspapers have much smaller circulations than we have. Okay. We started investing in digital development quite late, but we are making a lot of progress in the past 2 years, and we will make more progress in the coming 2 years, I'll promise. This is our history, and all the preceding titles we had, and we went on tabloids since 2008, and then we did the redesign 2 years ago, where Sharon will talk to you about. And as you see, Max Verstappen his home is in Limburg in our province. So we are, our readers, they inform themselves about their neighborhood and about world news, but they also use our newspaper to be proud of Max Verstappen, to be proud of Tom Dumoulin winning the Giro d'Italia. That's also a function we have. What's our vision? It's preaching to the converted, but we think it's vital to have independent journalism. It's preaching to the converted here, but in a declining and transforming industry, it's very important to repeat it at least once a week. And what's our mission? Giving the digital transformation we have, giving the decline in print, our mission is to be let's say, a digital companion for our subscribers, being there for readers not only to keep informed, but also to help him in everyday life. The cornerstone of our strategy is in-depth journalism. And that means, like people have said yesterday and today, it's not about technology, it's about journalism. It's about making the stories that are relevant for your readers. And standing out in that part will determine if you're successful or not. We have to add value on top of what others are publishing for free, what you can read on Facebook for free. We have to deliver more. So that's our digital ambition, to use personalization and also social media functionality to create 1.1 million editions for the Limburger, a tailor-made Limburger for everyone. We have 1.1 million inhabitants in the province. So here you will see, Sharon will show you the designs of the newspaper. These are some first designs for our digital future. Sharon made these sketches. So next year we hope there will be a digital award as well. And we'd like to compete for that one. Thank you. Sharon?
Yeah, thank you.
There you go.
Yes, first I would like to start with telling a little bit about myself. I studied journalism as a specialty in editorial design. I started my study because I was crazy about magazines. I couldn't throw one away, so my mom wasn't really happy with that. But then I had to do a mandatory internship at a newspaper. And I chose the one I grew up with. And I was really surprised, like the creativity and all the possibilities that hide behind making a newspaper every day. The thinking about what stories are we going to write, how are we going to write them, how we're going to illustrate them. And I kind of fell in love with that. If you ask readers what they think about the design of their newspapers, you get mixed response. A lot of readers don't look at design that way, and maybe once in a while we get a response when we move the puzzles or the comics. But on a news page, we rarely get any comments. And I think that's a good thing, because we would like to let the readers feel at home. And yeah, the design has to be functional. But we would like to throw in some surprises once in a while and some beautiful pages. Roy said that we did a redesign 2 years ago. This was the front page before we did the redesign. And since we went to from broadsheet to tabloid, the design hasn't changed, maybe a little bit, in over 8 years. That's a long time. And in that time, we were part of a big publisher, Wegener Publishing in Holland. And we worked together with other regional newspapers. So our content had to be interchangeable. And due to that, we kind of lost our own identity, because all the regional newspapers in Holland kind of look the same, except for the front page. So we started our project, and we asked our readers, like, if you had to describe the Limburger as a person, what would he or she look like? Well, this was the answer. We were not really happy with that answer. So that had to change. With that in mind, we started working on our new paper. I did that together with a freelance designer and with Danny van Rompuy, our director from Het Belang van Limburg, sitting right there. And I really like to thank him for his work. We wanted to give the Limburger back its own identity, keeping in mind that readers looked at us as a brand. We made some changes. We wanted to present the newspaper with a clear space for longer and deeper stories and beautiful images, but also taking into account the news of the day. A newspaper with minimal distraction, a simple navigation, and a clear identity. Serious, qualitative, and with a face. A newspaper with impact, as well in print as in online. One of the things that changed most was our front page. Our logo wasn't fixed anymore, it can move up and down. And we also changed our name from Dagblad de Limburger, like Dagblad de Limburger, to just the Limburger, because we believe we were more than just a Dagblad. We also said goodbye to a red lion you saw on an earlier page, because we believed that symbolized the wrong kind of power. It was institutional, and we want to be more personal. So we also try to make really clear decisions on our front page every day. So we ask ourselves, what do we want to serve our readers in the morning? Based on that short list that follows, we decide how the front page is going to look like. And if possible, we try to make a different one every day, because no news day is ever the same. More about this. The short list of items that come from the front page, there's rarely, sadly, really good regional news photos. So it's a challenge for our designers to come up with really creative concepts. But over the year, we keep getting better at it, and it even became one of our qualities. Like you see, the stories are all illustrated by our own designers. Also, what changed was our regional section and the news pages inside, not only the front page, of course. And you see, we really changed, like we wanted to show more white space, more stories, more moments where you can start reading. These are some of our double spreads. So illustrations and images are really important to us, and also the structure of a page. And also we wanted to give our paper a face. So we want to show journalists that write our stories, so readers can see from, hey, this newspaper is made for this peoples. So every day we make 4 sections. First, the most important news for Limburg, and then for Holland and the rest of the world. The second section is local news. As a regional newspaper, that's where our focus is. And our third section is our sports section. And among other things, we follow the 4 major soccer clubs in the province. We have 2 reporters that follow Max Verstappen, as Roy said, and also one that follows Stan Dumoulin. And then there's Leef, translated as life. This is a section where the Limburg's way of life is central. And its pillars are going out, and culture, and food, and drinks, media, and entertainment. And this section is really more magazine-like. It's not like the rest of the paper. There's no news in this section. This is only like feel-good and culture stories. We have one designer that does this section every day. Then on Saturday, we add a section that's called Horizon. And this section is more our in-depth section. Here you will find investigative journalism, background stories, reconstructions, and interviews. And then we have our own magazine. Not a lot of regional newspapers have their own magazines, so we're really proud of that. And it's called L Magazine. And it's really the cherry on the top. We wanted to that our readers can start their weekend at ease and with a feel-good and a positive vibe. So our covers are really different. They're really creative, and they come from photography to illustration. Mostly we do it our own designers. Some more pages from inside. On the left, below, you see a section, it's called Getting Up With. And this was the first we published. And I think the photo came in 1 week after the terrorist attack in Belgium on the airport. And we were like, we had a really rough news week that week with a lot of horrible stories. And then we saw that photo and we're like, this is what we also want to show our readers. Like, you can start your weekend with a warm feeling and a positive feeling after reading also a lot of news. So that's what our magazine does. And at last, we're experimenting right now with some storytelling online. So all the stories and all the content we're publishing in print, we want to translate like how we're going to publish it online. And as Roy said, we're exploring that and hoping in the next few years we'll keep getting better at it. And that was it. Thank you for your attention.